Coach, if you just want to start us off, kind of opening statement on how camp has gone, and then we'll go right to questions.
Perfect, yeah. It's been, I think it's been a really good camp. I mean, it's been fun to work with this group of coaches. It's been fun to work with the entire staff and then the players that we have here, so it's been good. It's been fun seeing guys get better. I mean, we got a great receiver room that's hungry to go out there and get better, so I've had a ton of fun. It's been a lot of learning within this offense, but just the people that we're around daily has made it fun each and every day to come in the building.
Can you walk us through how you ended up at Georgia Tech and the connections there?
So I've known some of the staff, right, and it's just from obviously being right down the street. You get to know them, whether it's at a camp or from Buster and I've coached with some of the same people. So I think that was part of the relationship. Obviously, Coach Key, seeing him out on the road recruiting, had a chance to interact with him. But I think it always comes down to relationships, and then some of it too is on some of the success we had with receivers over there. So it's been good. I've gotten to know them a lot better. We've been at camps and other things where I've gotten to know them a little bit, but it's been fun to be in here and work with this group on a daily basis.
It's along those same lines. What's it like sort of being the new guy? Everybody's coming back this year, and you're kind of the new one out.
Well, it's been because there's a lot of learning, right? With the offense that we run, there's high volume and there's a lot of NFL terminology. But what's been really good, and I told the receivers this from the very beginning, was that they're going to know it better than me. You know, a lot of those guys, this is their second year in the system, so they've been really good of understanding it. Dre's done a great job. The GA in that room's done a really good job, and then the staff too of knowing it. But it's just for me, there's stuff each and every day that I'm learning as we go through it. But it's been really good. I think always when you get in a uncomfortable situation, right, because I'd been at a place 7 years, been in the same offense for 5 years, that it's good to get uncomfortable and for me to learn and for me to grow and have the growth mindset has been something that I've really enjoyed about it.
Having come in, being right down the street, how much did you know about the receivers that you're coaching now? And I imagine you started the evaluation process from scratch, even if you knew something about them.
Correct. So I made a point really not to go back and watch film from last season, just because we want to try to create as much competition as we can within the room based off what they're doing in this camp, not what they've done previously. So that part of it now in the summer, I'll go back and watch more and kind of see some things we may need to work on, but I made a point not to do that now. The first part of your question, the good thing I had coming in here, obviously I've been in the state for really the last 7 years and a year before that. So the great part was I knew a lot of these guys. I've recruited a lot of these guys. I've seen certain guys in camp. I've kept up with them as the season progressed. Obviously, a lot of what happened last year. But so there's some relationships there going into the room that I had just because of I've been recruiting the state of Georgia in the receiver position.
Jackson.
You're taking over a group that brings back, most everyone. What do you think this group needs to improve upon and to get them to another level that, even better than they were last year?
Well, and again, I'm really just going off the spring, right? So I haven't looked a whole lot at what they did last year. And that's what I made a point is that I didn't want to. So I think it's constant improvement on the little things of us improving, releases, route running, staying on top of blocking, right? I think that's the things that you're always trying to get better at. I think in the receiver room, there's a lot of details and techniques that you can always get better at. But not being able to see what they did last year, right? And obviously I have access to it, but for my evals, I want to do it based off all what we do this spring. So that's what I've really focused it on and tried not to look at last year. But I think the receiver position sometimes can be undercoached and underdeveloped. And that's what we focused on is the releases, the techniques, how we get better at the little things, trying to watch some NFL tape, trying to watch some of the guys that are the best at those spots to try to get them to improve at those things.
I wanted to ask about two guys that were hurt a lot last year. One's Leo Blackburn and just how he's coming back. And then Chase Lane was a guy that showed some flashes early last year and then got hurt and tried to play through it. And just how are they coming back and kind of what have you seen from those two guys?
So both of them, I think, have had good camps. I mean, even if you went out there today, I thought both of them made plays. They're continuing to get better. I think continuing to gain back confidence, right? That's a big thing coming off some of the injuries that they had, is get their confidence back. So I think you've seen each day there's been improvement from both of them. Obviously, Leo gives you a big target, right? There's not many receivers around the country that have that size. And then Chase, again, me not watching it, but from what everybody said, was the leading receiver before he got hurt last year. So I think he, just like today, he went out there, he made some plays, and really seeing him grow in his overall game's been fun.
Last year, Zion Taylor was a freshman. There was a lot of talk about how he performed on the scout team and how well he performed. What has his progression been from, playing last season to camp, and what do you see?
So Zion's one that's really fun to work with, just because athletically he's one of the more talented guys in there, right? I think he continues to make plays each and every day. He continues to push himself. I think the thing, like a lot of young receivers, is continue to improve consistency in what I'm doing, right? Goes back to what I was saying earlier, right? The details of the position and him doing that on a consistent basis is what you see him continuing to work on. But the good thing is, like, I saw him up here Friday night before the first scrimmage, and he's going out there to get extra work. So you can tell he's hungry and he wants to do well.
Anybody else you'd be comfortable singling out who's had a really good spring to this point?
I mean, the whole group, really. I mean, you got such a big group, and the depth that's in the group. I think Eric and Malik have done a great job. They love the game. They're hungry to get better each and every day. Bailey Stockton's done really well in what he's trying to do. So the entire group's been good, and I think there's a lot of competition. And the thing that I like the most about the group is that they're really close-knit, right? So they are out there competing, but they're not necessarily always say like they're competing with each other. They're not competing against each other. So I think that's been really good. But a lot of guys have shown up, and I think the whole group, just how do we continue to attack it with detail on a consistent basis is what we're searching for.
I know Avery Boyd's been a little banged up, but he's a guy that gives you some position flexibility and how he can line up and use him in different ways. He worked out tight end some last year. Just kind of what do you see like kind of his path being, and how has he kind of embraced trying to be a guy that can maybe figure out a way to get on the field in a position flexible way?
Yes, so I think Avery's really fun to be around each and every day. He's got a great personality. He's another one I had a chance to recruit in high school. Remember going to watch him down in Tallahassee in the spring, and really he's been impressive this spring. How he's handled it, how he's taken ownership and kind of his role, improving on the route running, improving on the releases that he's got to continue to work on. But just positive attitude each and every day. Really fun to be around. So since I've been here the last month, Avery's done a great job.
Abdul came here from a small program in Duquesne, and it was his first year playing against Power 5 competition. What have you seen from him this spring?
He loves to work, great effort each and every day, wants to be coached. Like you see him in the front of the meetings, he's very, very attentive to details, right, taking notes. We've worked him a little bit inside and outside, and he's done a good job with that. I think you can tell that the progression's better from what I've heard of what it was last spring. Obviously, I wasn't here, but I'm excited about what he can bring to the group. He's done a really, really good job blocking on the perimeter, playing with an edge, kind of really been our best blocker out there, being consistent, and then continuing to get better at his route details. He's done a good job playing with speed down the field, so excited to see how he continues to progress.
Anything else? Kelly, if you want to wrap us up.
Sure, I'll ask. This is kind of a different question, but you were in a situation where your whole life got turned upside down in a matter of like a couple of days. You guys were in spring ball and all that at Georgia State, and then obviously the coaching changed. Now you're here, and just what has that been like to go through that experience? That's one of maybe the most unusual situations in college football in the last few years.
Well, it worked out great for me. I mean, I'm thrilled to death to be over here. Like I said, I mean, the thing I've loved the most about being here is just the people, from Coach Key to the offensive staff to the receiver room to the entire team. So it was a whirlwind of what happened over there, but the good Lord took care of us and got us over here. It's one of the things I say, because it is a rarity to see. You see a bunch of movement in coaching, right? I've been lucky to this be going in year 8 in Atlanta and love living here. The thing I say that I was blessed with is my kids, nothing's changed for them, right? So school's the same, baseball team's the same, all their friends, and you're not always able to go through a transition like that, and for those things to remain constant. They just got to learn a bunch of the players over here, so they're excited to get to know them. And they were up here at the first scrimmage Saturday and made some friends with the coaches, and were able to meet a few of our players.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank y'all.
Appreciate it.